It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Keefe. Thank you so much for being with us as we celebrate the incoming weekend here in Greater West Bloomfield. And along with that weekend, we go out of the month of January into February, which means it is Black History Month in Greater West Bloomfield and beyond. And so as we celebrate icons of Black history, that celebration, like it did a couple weeks back with United We Walk on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s holiday, also begins with our students over at West Bloomfield High School taking a step into history, quite literally. Kevin McIntosh has the story.
I'm here at West Bloomfield High School, where student actors are not only rehearsing lines, but also diving deep into the legacy of Jackie Robinson. As they prepare for opening night, they are also gaining insight into his impact on baseball and the civil rights movement, and discovering lessons that still resonate today.
So Amiri Baraka says that the artist's role is to raise the consciousness of the people, to make them more aware of themselves and the world around them. And my genuine hope is that the students do that, is that they are more conscious of themselves and the world that wasn't the same. You know, even just 50 years ago or even just 20 years ago, everything is changing and it's ever changing. And I hope that they just, continue to hold on to their light, never dimming it for anyone, and continue to shine bright.
Through Robinson's legacy, students learn resilience and empathy, inspiring them to shine brighter in their performances and lives together.
I actually learned a lot about Jackie Robinson. I learned his relationship with Joe Louis, how they met, how they're friends, and mainly just how to show this relationship with the actor that's playing Jackie Robinson.
What I learned about Jackie Robinson is that when he was first told that he has the opportunity to join the MLB, he didn't even want to do it because he understood how hard it was and how much of a risk and how much danger that could put him and his wife in. His family was getting death threats. It's not like he was doing this for himself. He was doing it for the generations after him. So seeing that type of stuff, you just have much more respect for him.
Robinson's legacy teaches students about courage and community, inspiring them to work independently and collaboratively to enrich our community.
We're teaching students about a number of things, including working both independently and in groups and creating art for people to view and enrich our community.
Through art, students share Robinson's story, making viewers feel part of an inspiring journey.
If you're someone who's just a viewer, right, and in the audience, you're learning things about Jackie Robinson that you may have not learned about him, but from watching it in a very fun and exciting way, And you kind of are a part of the process and with it and enjoying it. And I hope that everyone feels that when they see the show.
Watching the play, audiences truly connect with Robinson's experiences, giving the younger generation a deeper understanding of history through storytelling.
When you actually see it happening in real time on stage, you could feel what Jackie felt, even if it's for a moment. And I feel like that's something that history class or any factual history textbook, wherever you get your historical information at, I don't think that it could provide that experience. And so I feel like kids being able to learn about civil rights and activism, stuff like that, they could have a deeper sense of why those are important and why we can't go back to those times.
I think it's very important because sometimes, when you're reading in a book, obviously you're not really going to pay that much attention. But when you see it being brought out onto a big stage or just seeing it in a movie, if you saw a movie about somebody, you're more likely to remember than just reading a 300-page book. So that's why I like having to convey characters in storytelling.
Through their performance, these students are not only telling the story of Jackie Robinson, they're also learning what it means to stand up for what's right. It's clear that this experience will have a lasting impact not only for the cast, but for the audience as well. From West Bloomfield High School, I'm Kevin McIntosh, Civic Center TV.
Appreciate the report from Kevin and, of course, the work being done by the kids at West Bloomfield High School. You can see Jackie Robinson Steele's home very soon in their theater at West Bloomfield High School as they kick off the new year on the stage at the home of the Lakers. Close to home in the Tri-City, tasty deals all throughout the weekend at your favorite restaurants in the city of Keego Harbor. It's all part of Taste of Keego 2.0 with 11 restaurants participating with special deals all the way through Sunday. So you're going to want to go check that out. Keego Harbor Parks and Recreation's Kirsten Sonneville Douglas, as well as Ava Mason from Canal Bakery in Keego Harbor, told our Kevin McIntosh that driving business is great, but Taste of Keego 2.0 does so much more to bring the community together.
It just brings people together, which I think is so great, and it helps boost our local economy, our local businesses, and fostering some pride in our community. We have some great eateries, right? And so just getting that out there and encouraging people to try something new even.
It's just like an opportunity for everybody to come together and to enjoy each other's time and get to know each other, I guess, if you're friends, and also just enjoy some good food.
It's a great way to connect with people in the community here in Greater West Bloomfield. Whether you're from Keego Harbor or any of the other of our cities and townships in Greater West Bloomfield, or you're meeting up with neighbors and friends from around the local area, Keego Harbor is a great hub with a variety of different restaurants. And as Kirsten Sonneville Douglas told us, it is important to support these local businesses. But not only are you providing your support during the best times of the year, you think about the big restaurant days like the Super Bowl and so on, you're able to support them when times are a little bit slow, and that's why this really is the perfect moment for Taste of Keego 2.0.
This was a great time because it was after the holiday boom, and then before the lull, there's a lull right now before, say, Valentine's Day or Super Bowl, and now we're getting to the spring months when people are more apt to going out. And so right now, this is a slow time. So we're just trying to offer some promotions, some specials to get people into those establishments.
Douglas also told our Kevin McIntosh that Taste of Keego 2.0 takes the long-standing staple event of Taste of Keego and turns it instead into a long-form celebration of the variety of small business owners operating restaurants in the heart of the lakes.
We used to do an event called Taste of Keego at Santia Hall. It was Keego Harbor Parks and Rec's largest fundraiser. And when the pandemic hit, unfortunately, staffing and not being able to get together were concerns. And then just wanting to make sure that we were supporting our local community and those establishments that support us and make our city so great. And so we just kind of rebranded it 2.0 and made it Restaurant Week, so bringing and driving customers to the restaurant.
Taste of Keego 2.0 continues all throughout the weekend now through February 2nd at participating restaurants throughout the heart of the lakes. Taking a look at this list, it's a fantastic lineup. Lots of pizza from Buscemi's, from Gino's, from Jets and Lorenzo's, and from the Lodge. So many other places for that. If you want some baked goods, Canal Bakery will be open. Dewar Chocolate as well will be able to provide some of that to you. And you got some of your fan favorites from throughout the community too. Harbor Steakhouse, Jaybird, Taqueria Flores, and Tony's Deli. So many more. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks in between. Something for everybody at Taste of Keego 2.0. Each of these restaurants has their own specific tasty deals all throughout the weekend. You want to learn more about that? Head on over to the Facebook page of Keego Harbor Parks at Facebook at KH Parks. And while you're at it, tell us your favorites. What's your favorite restaurant in Keego Harbor? What are your favorite restaurants in Greater West Bloomfield? Give your neighbors and your friends some suggestions on our social media on civiccentertv.com, or scan the QR code on your screen as we speak to follow us all across social media on YouTube, on Facebook, on X, and on Instagram. Our live videos are active as we speak. You can comment right there or on our Facebook posts later on in the day and throughout the week. Tell us your favorite restaurants, and hey, maybe we'll put those comments right here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. A great way to get the community together, meet some new people, and have a lot of fun this weekend in Keego Harbor. plenty other ways to get together and connect with people of all different backgrounds. We are so lucky here in Greater West Bloomfield to have people of all different faiths, religious backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds, socioeconomic backgrounds, and they often come together to share ideas to help bolster our community now and in the future as well. Our very own Jake Schaff had a chance to join a group of faith leaders in our community as they do their part to take us into a bright and friendly future.
Every month, members of the Greater West Bloomfield Faith and Community Alliance get together to form a sense of unity and connection throughout the entire community of West Bloomfield, building these bonds and helping to make the four communities better and better every single day, even for those of different faiths who come together for a greater purpose.
This organization represents the heart and soul of Greater West Bloomfield. The members of clergy with members in the community come together with a common interest. How can we connect? How can we collectively add greater value, greater insight, and understanding across the entire community?
This was my first experience with being part of a group like this in my professional capacity. I do attend church in my personal life, so I'm familiar with the faith-based organizations and the way they operate and the thought processes. But this is the first time that I've had the opportunity to participate in something like this through a work setting, and it was really nice to see a wide array of different personalities and backgrounds and people from different walks of life come together and have the same goals in mind.
What is it like to communicate with these big community heads in this way?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's so much fun to get to spend time with all of these wonderful, amazing people who are spending their lives leading communities of care and mission and taking care of other folks. It's been a wonderful privilege. It's not just a matter of doing what Methodists do, but when we work together, we can accomplish so much more, have a bigger impact, and come to a greater understanding of who one another is, so that as human beings that are trying to just be the best that we can be in this community, we can do that better when we're working together and coming to common understandings of who we are.
It's great because, to be able to discuss various things that are the same, really. I mean, we're all people, and how we approach, God. Three of the religions come from the same source. So, it's nice to meet the other leaders and their people and find out more about them and how we relate. We're so much more alike than different. And if we look at the likeness or the sameness instead of how we're different, then we can do a lot more for the community and beyond.
I think because the example that we show, it shows people that they can come together too, and it's okay if you're different and coming together. You're not always going to agree, but you can find some places of agreement and make an impact on not just your community, but the wider world.
It's another fantastic way to help promote that great sense of community bonding everywhere you look. And a great way to peek inside and see more of the ins and outs on how these communities are run, even in some ways you wouldn't expect. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
A group of faith leaders from across Greater West Bloomfield tackling some of the issues that affect their congregations and the widespread community each and every day. And look, they're looking for new issues to tackle and to find creative solutions that come from the community. So if you're looking to reach out to them, give us your comments. We'll pass those along to them, and they'll see them too. They're very avid watchers and friends of the program here at Civic Center TV, and especially us here on the Splash Live. Exploring leadership across Greater West Bloomfield and beyond is something that definitely happens each and every day in the classroom. Now, Oakland Schools is taking their expertise on leadership from throughout our community across Oakland County in a brand new series called Leading the Way. Joining us now to learn more about this series is the superintendent of Oakland Schools, Ken Gutman. Thank you so much for being with us, sir.
Always a pleasure, Tyler. Nice to see you.
Good to see you as well into your new leadership role in Oakland schools in 2025 as their superintendent. So from your perspective at the head of the offices in Oakland schools, why is it important for your organization to explore leadership not only in our school systems locally, but across the board in our community?
Yeah, across the state, across the nation as well, Tyler. We have an obligation as an intermediate school district to provide support and leadership for our district. But there's also a greater need for support across the state and across the country. These are really important times for our schools, really important times for our country. And we want to make sure that we can share some expertise. And when we don't have it, to bring in experts.
And so in this series, what are you exploring? As you mentioned, you're talking to experts in leadership in various capacities across our school systems in Oakland County and even beyond. What are we looking into as we examine leadership and how it affects all of our kids here in Greater West Bloomfield?
Thank you, Tyler. I'm really proud of Dandridge Floyd, our Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources and Labor Relations. She does a really nice job interviewing people. From Haley Stevens to Tarek Soap, who's the president of Lawrence Technological University, and others, to see what lessons they've learned in their leadership journey. She's picked some really great people to say, what did you learn? How did you learn it? What do other people need to know? And so these are accomplished leaders, and she's asking them some really open, honest, poignant questions. And there are a number of lessons to be learned from these leaders.
And what's really important and what is interesting from these different conversations is these are leaders in so many different areas of education and of the greater community. As you mentioned, Representative Haley Stevens, she gets to see this from a national level, a federal level, while also supporting that leadership on the local level, these university presidents, and even those within Oakland schools seeing this variety. So now how do you hope that these diverse topics help to address some of the community needs in Greater West Bloomfield and throughout Oakland County as well?
Yeah, the West Bloomfield community is such a wonderful community, rich and diverse, and so much leadership that exists within the community. I think what this does is say, where do we see some similarities? Where are we alike within the community? And where do we have challenges? And so when you think about it from a leadership perspective, where can we partner to make a difference? We know there are so many community leaders. We know there are community leaders who are not outwardly leading in the community from the front, but their voices are in the room. And then when we can coordinate that and maybe advance some conversations throughout the community, the goal is to bring people together to create an even richer community in West Bloomfield.
Kenneth Gutman is with us, the superintendent of Oakland Schools, our intermediate school district, or ISD, serving Greater West Bloomfield and many other school districts across the Oakland County area as they introduce their new leadership program, Leading the Way, which you'll see regularly right here on Civic Center TV and listen to it on 89.3 Lakes FM. People come up to me all the time, Ken, and they want to watch over a segment that I've done on the Splash with them and comment on it, and they rewatch a segment of it that they really enjoy. I don't like watching myself on TV very much, looking back at it, especially with other people, although I'll do it in an evaluatory mode in that case. So, pretty inappropriate, I'd say, then, for me to say, let's go ahead and have you watch your episode back. We got the first episode of Leading the Way. We're going to premiere that on Civic Center TV as we speak right here on the Splash Live and learn a little bit of leadership insight from the man himself and his friends at Oakland Schools.
Welcome to Leading the Way, Oakland Schools video series highlighting influential leaders throughout Oakland County. Today we are joined by our very own Mr. Kenneth Gutman, Superintendent of Oakland Schools. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Well, with 33 years of education experience, 15 as a superintendent, there's no person better to sit in this seat to talk about leadership. So can you tell us just a little bit about what was your leadership journey and how you got to be the superintendent of Oakland Schools?
Well, thank you so much. And I'm really honored to be the superintendent of Oakland Schools. I knew I wanted to be a superintendent since I was a young child. And people laugh when I say that, but my father had spent almost 40 years in education, most of it at the central office level. this is what I've always wanted to do if I could not become a goalie in the NHL. And so it's the traditional path. I was a teacher, I was an assistant principal, assistant superintendent of human resources, and then spent a year as an assistant superintendent of human resources, curriculum, and instruction. And then from there became a superintendent in one district, moved to a district that was twice the size, and came here as a deputy a couple of years ago. And here I am as superintendent. I'm really excited to be here.
Wonderful. So on that journey, what is some career advice that you wish someone would have given you early on?
Probably to listen more than you speak. So often people think leaders have to have all the answers. We don't. We have to surround ourselves with really smart people and be humble enough to listen to what they say. If we think we're the smartest people in the room, we're not.
That is so very true. I'm often not the smartest person in the room. What is a truth about leadership that people don't often talk about, but it's really important?
I would say probably just vulnerability. You know, authenticity. When you put on this air that you're going to be the superintendent, are you really being true to who you are? It's that admitting you don't know everything. It's the vulnerability of making mistakes and owning them. So if you're authentic, people tend to understand that you really do care, that you're focused in the right areas. When you put on a show, people don't trust you, and when people don't trust you, the organization doesn't go the right way.
Oakland School's new episode series, Leading the Way, is premiered on YouTube, and you'll see it here regularly on Civic Center TV and tune into it on 89.3 Lakes FM. The star of their first episode, Kenneth Gutman, Oakland School's superintendent, joins us today on the Splash Live. And Ken, you talk about so many different aspects of leadership in this series. We saw a snippet of that very first episode, just about 5 minutes long, each of these all together as they come out week by week. Who is this for? Who do you think it really is the most important groups of people in our community to tune into a series like this and learn something about leadership?
Just like you, I don't like to watch myself in that sort of setting. But I will tell you that I think this can benefit, not necessarily my episode, but the others. It could benefit anyone in the community. I do think that when you look at some of the students in our community who may choose to watch this, parents, community members, again, we have so much in common in terms of the way we look at leadership. And I think that we can all benefit from the conversation about what makes good leaders. If we don't have leadership, where are we? And I think about education, but some of the lessons that you'll hear from others in this series, I think about Haley Stevens and the lessons you'll hear from her. And I think you start to realize that no matter what the sector, leadership is leadership. And that starts really young. There are leaders in elementary school and middle school and high school, and I'm talking about students. We can identify those student leaders. And it's really important to recognize that the loudest leaders aren't always the leader, that there are those who are quietly leading. And I think those lessons transcend all organizations and all sectors.
Something that people of all ages can learn right here in Greater West Bloomfield and beyond. Ken Gutman, Oakland School Superintendent, with us on the Splash Live. Thank you, as always, for your time, sir.
Oh, it's always a pleasure, Tyler. Thank you.
Appreciate it. You can see full episodes of Leading the Way now and going forward right here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. We will also provide those for you on our website on civiccentertv.com. New episodes in the coming months ahead, and the newest episode, including Ken Gutman, is already available and playing right here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Taking a front row seat in leadership is something that everybody in our community can do, but our kids are doing it in all different sectors of need right here in Greater West Bloomfield, including supporting our four-legged friends, our local animals. There's a group of students at West Bloomfield High School who have partnered with other students across the local area to support animal rights and help animals recover from really tough situations that have affected them here in our community and far beyond. Those students are Rhea Bagri and Gabe Hiraday, who join me now on the Splash Live from The Positive Effect, a nonprofit born right here in Greater West Bloomfield. Thank you both for being with me today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, glad to have you both on today. I want to start with you, Maria, as already you've raised over $2,000 to help animals in need with other nonprofits in the local community, but the Positive Effect is a nonprofit that you and others created to help animals in our local area. What's sort of the aim of this student-driven nonprofit?
Well, the Positive Effect is a certified nonprofit created to give animals a second chance. I'd come up with the idea when I was visiting the Humane Society this summer. I'd seen how various animals were affected by their past homes. And although they were at the Humane Society, they still didn't have access to many treats, blankets, and other luxuries. Both Gabe and I decided to dig deeper on this topic and realized how common it was. Finally, in October, we got to create a board with 9 other students from Novi and West Bloomfield High School. And we even got certified as an official 501(c)(3) organization, which is a charity organization.
That's a really impressive feat to have students not only from here in Greater West Bloomfield, but from neighboring areas, all partnering for this common passion of theirs to help animals in need throughout our local area. And you mentioned having those partnerships be built with groups from neighboring communities of similar passions. Gabe, I want to go to you as we talk about this partnership with other communities. How do all your passions for animals, your love for animals, sort of come together to figure out ways that you can, as students, help animals in our local area?
Yeah, so I've always had a deep love for animals, and I have 2 dogs myself. And I always believed that they deserve to be treated with kindness and respect. And seeing the number of animals in these shelters and the challenges that humane societies face due to the lack of resources, it really pushed us to take action. And we wanted to create something that not only raises awareness, but also provides real support that is beneficial. And that's basically what the Positive Effect is about. It allows us to combine our passion for animals with community engagement and create a movement where people can come together and really make that difference.
So you talk about advocacy and filling in the gaps that maybe people don't know about supporting animals in their life or in their community. What are some of the things that you hope that the Positive Effect can teach not only students at West Bloomfield High School here in our community, but students, adults, and others throughout the greater community?
I mean, the Positive Effect is really put together to fight for animal cruelty. There's a lot of issues out there with animals facing harmful treatment from their owners and stuff like that. And we really want to get that message out. We post a lot of articles on our Instagram page, like talking about animal cruelty as a whole and how people can come together and prevent that in their communities.
Gabe Hiraday is with us, one of the co-founders of the Positive Effect. Another one of the co-founders is Rhea Bagri, who also joins us today on the Splash Live. Rhea, I want to go back to you because a large part of what your organization does, as you mentioned earlier on, is putting together resources that help these animals in various shelters or foster homes that they are in. So what are some of the critical items that you're looking for, and how do you find where those items go to help animals as best as possible in our area?
Yeah, of course. So far, our nonprofit has actually made homemade bandanas for dogs, which we not only sold, but we're also going to be giving some out to the Humane Society. And we've been making homemade dog treats, which we sell. And all the proceeds, of course, go to the Humane Society. And honestly, for our donations, we're looking for not only towels, but they can be used or new, and blankets and treats.
And more of these can be found through helping out the Positive Effect at West Bloomfield High School. Students and others in the community can get involved. I want to go back to you, Rhea, on that because you and Gabe are co-founders of this organization. Other students from other districts are also involved. But we know kids love animals in the greater West Bloomfield area, and so if they want to help out, what are some ways that they can get involved?
Yeah, definitely. Volunteering at your local Humane Society could be your best bet. And also, we will be having a dog drive where you can donate any animal supplies if you have any treats, food, anything, clothes as well, that the dogs could use. So you can just drop them off at the high school security, and we'll make sure that they get to the dogs.
Gabe, back to you on this. What's been the most rewarding moment for you so far in helping to lead this organization, to grow this organization, not just as a club at West Bloomfield High School, but also as a nonprofit that helps support animals throughout the Metro Detroit area?
Yeah, so one of our most rewarding experiences was our yoga fundraiser at Thrive Hot Yoga in Farmington Hills. We raised roughly around $1,500, and all the money is going towards supporting animals in need. We've also built a partnership with Michigan Humane Society where we're planning to donate essential supplies for animals. But beyond the numbers, we've seen an increase in community involvement, which is really important to us. And we have more people joining our team and trying to make a difference, which is exactly what we've hoped for.
And you mentioned the yoga fundraiser being one of the ways that you were able to bring in quite a lot of money for the positive effect. Rhea, I want to go back to you on this because these are some creative ways to put forth your fundraising. It's not the typical way you'd see from a high school group where it'd be a bake sale or it would be maybe doing a raffle at a sporting event through West Bloomfield High School or something along those lines. You're really trying to be out there and be unique in how your fundraising efforts go. Where did that sort of idea start within your organization to maybe approach the fundraising side a little bit differently?
Yeah, of course. We were trying to explore different ways and unique ways to get the community involved. And my mom actually teaches at the yoga studio. And in the past, I remember that they had done multiple yoga fundraisers for dogs and other causes that were so important. And I saw how the community came together and donated anything to help. So I talked to her and I talked to the owner, and they were able to support our organization and make a yoga class, and all the proceeds went to the Humane Society, and even people brought in dog food, pee pads, and a bunch of other things, which we will be going to the Humane Society this week or next week and giving out.
Rhea, I want to go back to you again on this. There's a lot more coming up going forward with the positive effect. What are some things that are coming down the pike that maybe people can be excited for or maybe even have as an opportunity to join your organization in the coming weeks and months?
Yeah, definitely. Our Remind is open to anybody who would like to join, which is in our bio and our Instagram. And for the future, some events that we are planning across WP is obviously our dog donation drive, which will be through both West Bloomfield High School and Novi High School. Whatever donations that you want to donate towards the Humane Society, you can drop off at the high school security. We will have a box there eventually, probably next month. And we're even trying to have a formal therapy dog program at West Bloomfield High School. So we're trying to establish that. And as for our group next meeting, we're going to be making knot blankets and selling them so we can get some money for the Humane Society.
All great efforts going forward with the Positive Effect, a nonprofit organization co-founded out of West Bloomfield High School by Rhea Bagri and Gabe Hiraday, who are both with us on today's edition of the Splash Live. Gabe, before we let the both of you go, what do you hope comes from this organization in the future? We talked with Rhea about some upcoming fundraising opportunities, some of the things you've already been able to do, but what do you hope is the next step for the Positive Effect?
So we are both now juniors in high school, and we will probably be, transferring the president spot to kids who are younger than us, like upcoming freshmen as of right now, and we hope to carry on that the nonprofit while we are both in college. But one of our goals is to raise enough money to go to a third world country and feed the stray dogs that are there who are facing animal cruelty.
All great ideas, all really helpful ways to support animals here in Greater West Bloomfield and far beyond and have a positive effect. Rhea Bagri, Gabe Hiraday, thank you both for being with us.
Thank you so much for having us.
A fantastic story out of West Bloomfield High School as these kids are taking their love for animals, their passion for helping animals in need in our community and beyond, and joining forces with other like-minded students from across the local area. We'll take a break on The Splash Live. Plenty more to get to on the other side, including some tasty treats in the city of Keego Harbor. Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Find us on Instagram at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
Hi, I'm Lauren Azuri, the Park Naturalist Supervisor for West Bloomfield Parks. Congratulations to you, Civic Center TV, for hitting 1 million views on YouTube. We really appreciate your partnership in spreading nature education in a creative way in our community. I'm Lauren Azuri, proud to be 1 in a million.
What people are watching in Keego Harbor. Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft, thanking you for joining us and for always following along and joining in on the conversation on our social media, YouTube, Instagram, and X at Civic Center TV. And you can also find us on Facebook, including each and every one of our daily shows, Monday through Friday, live on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. One of the tastiest times of the year, special deals in the heart of the lakes for Taste of Keego 2.0. That includes some of your favorite chocolate treats at Dewar Chocolate. Joining us now is the founder of that local business, Rajani Kankaputi, with us on The Splash Live. Thank you so much for being with us.
Hi, Tyler. Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, happy to have you on as we explore Taste of Keego 2.0 in the heart of the lakes for you. Coming up this weekend, your special deals will go into effect in the last couple days of Taste of Keego. What are you offering to the heart of the lakes and the greater community?
So this year, we have decided we will introduce our sipping chocolate. It is 100% dark chocolate with oat milk and sugar to taste. So it's totally up to you guys when you come in, if you want it hot, cold, whatever. But I think hot chocolate, right? So that's exactly what we're going to do this time of the year, hot chocolate. Sipping hot chocolate, the way it should be.
And it's going to be a great weekend for that as well. With temperatures still a little bit on the colder side out there, and perfect place to get out of the cold and join some friendly people in the heart of the lakes for some tasty treats. Now, this is a great way to get people engaged in the community with our local businesses. What are your thoughts on Taste of Keego 2.0 and how it helps to support small businesses like yours in a close-knit community like Keego Harbor?
Especially with the cold season around, everybody wants to just stay home, not want to venture out. But this is a great idea where people are now exposed to other food groups around here. So people will have an incentive to go and taste local cuisine. It could be lunches, dinners, chocolate treats like us, anything around. So it actually brings a lot of people out and introduces them to us. So it actually is a great way for our business to thrive and help the community also understand that we are around here.
Rajani Kankapudi is with us. She is the founder and the owner of Dewar Chocolate, located in Keego Harbor, participating in Taste of Keego 2.0, which runs through February 2nd at participating restaurants. More information on those participating restaurants, including Dewar Chocolate and their deals, can be found on Facebook at KH Parks. So this is still a relatively new eatery that you have here in Keego Harbor. As you've gone through these first few months and started to explore what it really means to be a close part of this community in greater West Bloomfield. What have you learned so far, and how has that maybe inspired you to move forward and continue to have this great success you're having in Keego?
So it's not only bringing people and buying chocolate, right? It's not just about the customers. It's also about the relationships that you build with these customers. I've always emphasized on relationships, and my medium to connect with people is through chocolate. So right from the source, we know our farmers, or we know our source of our origin for the cocoa beans. It could be different countries, but along those lines, the end customer at this point not only becomes a customer, but also becomes a friend. And over time, we've developed so many relationships with the local community and members of the community. So I think that's what keeps us going.
And we got to see so many of those relationships be formed, and those smiling faces, getting to meet other people and getting to know one of our local businesses recently when Jake Schaff from our team went out to your restaurant to learn more on one of your special classes. And you can see that on our website right now, civiccentertv.com, as well as across our social media. And he also had a chance to talk to you about sort of your origin in this business, because you're not a long-time chocolatier. This is something that, look, you have an interest in, you started a business, but how did you get into this?
It was all by accident. I took a chocolate making class, and walking out of the class, I was like, oh, I can do this, I guess. And I had no idea what roasting was involved, how the different profiles work. I just assumed you take a bunch of cocoa beans, roast them, and you grind them. And once I started doing that, I realized it's not the same. And you get deeper and deeper into it, and you're making all this chocolate, and you're tasting that, everything is so different from what you find on the store shelves. The origin from Tanzania tastes completely different from Ecuador or from the Dominican Republic. And so now you're questioning yourself, and you're digging yourself deeper into that hole of chocolate. And over time, you're like, oh, this is something I can do. And you develop the knack to taste, and then you bring in my cultural background, and now we're pairing things that you've not seen before, like peppers and spices into chocolate. And I'm like, oh, we have something that people like.
And so you're not just a food scientist now in this capacity, you're an artist as well. And so with that coming up, you have all these different creative ideas that you've brought to it, including from other cultures that maybe don't get associated with chocolate very often. So Rajani, as we look toward the future and you continue that artistry at your business, what are some products that maybe you're exploring now that people may see at Dewar Chocolate in the near future?
So apart from the sipping chocolate, which we're introducing for the very first time, as Americans, we drink Swiss Miss. But this is European chocolate, where we're talking about 100% ground chocolate. We're not removing any fat content from it. So apart from introducing the sipping chocolate, we are also introducing some teas, cocoa teas. It could be Ayurvedic infusions. It could be a regular run-of-the-mill tea, dipped tea. So that could be one that we're working on. And hopefully tomorrow we'll have things for people to taste as they come through. We're also working on summer treats like fudgesicles, chocolate fudgesicles. And we're also introducing bonbons, which we have not done in the past. I have always focused on making chocolate, grinding the chocolate, understanding profiles. Now we're going to be more creative and start bringing them into a part of a bonbon or a confection. So those are some things that we are planning for this summer.
You can find Dewar Chocolate in the heart of Keego Harbor, just south of Portman Street on Cass Lake Road in the heart of the lakes. Really that restaurant row where so many of those restaurants are participating in Taste of Keego 2.0. You can also learn more about Dewar Chocolate by visiting their website. That is dewarchocolate.com, DWAAR, chocolate.com. And joining us on the program is their founder and owner, Rajani Kankapudi, as they're one of many restaurants continuing their participation participation in Taste of Keego 2.0 this weekend. Rajni, as you look forward to the future beyond Taste of Keego 2.0, how important is it for you as a business owner, as a restaurant owner in the heart of the lakes, to continue your support for other restaurants and them for you in this capacity well beyond this annual event?
We are a small community in Keego Harbor, surrounded by West Bloomfield, Bloomfield Hills, and everybody. So I think it is very important for us all to stick together and form this food community where we share ideas, support each other, especially if there's a need. So it is very important, I would say, to stay in this area, not just this time of the year or Keego Harbor, Taste of Keego Harbor 2.0, but definitely throughout the year.
The deals continue all weekend long at the Taste of Keego 2.0. Restaurants all across the heart of the lakes. Make sure you take your detour and come on over to Dewar Chocolate for a tasty treat during your weekend as well. Rajani, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Tyler.
Appreciate it. Rajni Kankapudi, the owner and the founder of Dewar Chocolate on Cass Lake Road in Keego Harbor. More information is on your screen, dewarchocolate.com. You can also learn about their special deals and all the deals throughout the Taste of Keego 2.0 lineup on Facebook at KH Parks. There's plenty more fun to be had all across the greater West Bloomfield area. During the warmer months of the year, we're often seeing greater West Bloomfield athletes of all different ages out on the pickleball courts. But looking at the weather report, and I am your local weather guy here for greater West Bloomfield and beyond, we're going to have a variety. There's going to be snow, there's going to be rain, it's going to be in the 20s, it's going to be in the 40s. So not exactly the most ideal conditions for pickleball outdoors. That's why greater West Bloomfield's pickleball enthusiasts are taking their beloved sport indoors and out of those various conditions in the great outdoors. Our reporter Jake Schaff has the story.
With the snow falling and the temperatures dropping, Michigan winter is here, and a lot of fun outdoor sports have had to take a back seat for the season, or in some cases have had to be relocated. And pickleball is no exception. Many indoor outlets and leagues have begun to pop up for one of America's favorite pastimes, and the Detroit Pickleball League has found a great home here at the Sports Club of West Bloomfield. The environment may be different, but as the players will tell you themselves, it's the same old ball game.
So this is the second year of the Detroit Pickleball League. I was part of the inaugural season last year, and it was an absolute blast. So I'm back here doing it again. And anytime I get a chance to play, whether it be a league or for fun, I'm all about it whenever my schedule allows.
I think it's fantastic. I play pickleball sometimes twice a day, but every day. And there's not a pickleball court that I haven't played on. I go everywhere, so I love it.
What would you say are some of the biggest differences from playing it outdoors as opposed to playing indoors as you are right now?
Oh, well, there's a lot of differences. First of all, outside you have to deal with the wind. That's the biggest thing. But once you get used to playing in the wind, it's kind of fun. Obviously, with inside, you've got deals with room, if you can get around, if you can serve comfortably. Sometimes lighting is not great inside, but of course, you have good weather inside all the time, so you can play anytime.
I like it because you don't have to worry about the sun in your eyes, don't have to worry about putting sunblock on and all that good stuff. Or if it's raining, sometimes I've had so many plans ruined because of the rain when I play outdoors. So I really like indoors a lot. It does take a lot of adjusting if you're playing on a gym floor surface, on the other hand, because there are some places that the only option is gym floor surface, and that is a big adjustment because the floor is so different than the dedicated pickleball surface or like a tennis court surface.
We play until we're told we can't play outside. The nets are taken down and we have to find a place indoors, whether it be here at Sports Club or somewhere else down the road at Pickle Rage or Farmington Hills or in the east side over at Bass Pickleball Club. So we find our way to indoors. We embrace it, whether it's be at the YMCA or community center. We're here in Michigan. We'll play wherever.
How great is it to have seen this sport's impact on a community like West Bloomfield?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, we have more courts coming outside every year. You see different municipalities offering more courts because that's what we want. Sometimes it takes numbers to get those courts for us to enjoy. But whether it's outside or indoors, I think that more facilities are offering those programming opportunities for people to play, whether it be drop-in on weekends or ladder leagues during the week or weekends. It's just a fun sport.
Yeah, I think the pickleball community in West Bloomfield has been great. I've played here for several years before I even did the Detroit Pickleball League. and there's more facilities popping up. There's another place called Pickle Rage that just opened up, which is brand new. That's a great new indoor place with dedicated pickleball courts, and I love to see it. The more courts, the better, so I love it.
Whether it's June or January, indoors or outdoors, pickleball is pickleball. And these players are very determined to keep the spirit of the sport alive all year long. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
Taking the beloved sport from the outdoors inside for the winter season. Jake Schaff with that report. More information, you can see that and share it as well for all your pickleball enthusiasts across Greater West Bloomfield on civiccentertv.com. A safety initiative is underway in partnership between the West Bloomfield Police Department and the Greater West Bloomfield Community Coalition to help you protect your friends, your family, your neighbors, and visitors to your home from accidental ingestion of your over-the-counter drugs and other medications that could be deadly if they're not safely put away in your home. It's a new initiative providing free resources to people all across Greater West Bloomfield, and our very own Jake Schaff had a chance to talk to the coalition's Lisa Berkey for more details.
And here to tell us more about this initiative, we have the Executive Director of the Greater West Bloomfield Community Coalition, Lisa Berkey, joining us right now on The Splash. Lisa, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Really, really good. Glad to have you with us and interested in getting into this topic. So what inspired the Greater West Bloomfield Community Coalition to launch the Lock It Up initiative?
So Oakland County came to each coalition and said that they had for us free bags and free lock boxes. And once we got this supply, we brainstormed with the police department on the best way to get these out to our community.
Great. And it seems to have already had a great effect on the community. Everyone's really excited about this initiative. How have you seen unsecured medications, marijuana, or edibles impact families in Greater West Bloomfield?
So I personally don't know of a situation, thankfully. But what I would say is it can happen anywhere and to anyone, especially with how edibles these days look so much like a gummy teddy bear or brownies looking like a regular brownie. So we know it can happen and we just need to take our precautions. And the same with our prescription meds. Lots of people just keep them out. We know our grandparents keep them on a lazy Susan, usually on their dining room table. And it's just important that we lock them up and be away from our youth.
That's certainly right. You never know where a lot of these things can pop up. And you're right about how they are looking a lot more like pieces of candy, like someone could pick up a gummy bear and not realizing that it's going to give you something way worse than a sugar rush. But can you explain the process of picking up a free lockbox or a lock bag and how community members can properly take advantage of this resource?
Super easy. Just go on in to West Bloomfield Police Department. They are up at the front desk. In fact, I have samples with me I can show you.
Oh, perfect.
This is the lock bag, and there are directions inside on how to lock it, but the zipper parts just go into here, and then you set a code. This is also supposed to be smell-proof for marijuana. And the other one is a lock box that looks like this. And you can set a code. There's also like a link in here so you could chain it to something. And you just have to go to the police station and pick it up. What we're suggesting is not only for homes to keep these away from kids, some other good ideas are if your house is up for sale, you should not leave your medication in your medicine cabinet. You should lock up all your prescription meds and take them with you. So this is a great tool for real estate agents to hand to their clients. And then we were at the Spirit of Grace diabetic pantry a few weeks ago, and one of the people took a bag for when they travel. They said they travel quite a bit and they wanted their prescriptions locked up in their hotel room so they weren't easily accessed by the cleaning crew. So I thought that was another great suggestion.
It's interesting to hear how you are already communicating with the Greater West Bloomfield community and helping to get those resources out to a lot of people. For those just joining us right now on The Splash, we have Lisa Berkey, the Executive Director of the Greater West Bloomfield Community Coalition, talking about the Lock It Up initiative and the free lock boxes and lock bags that are currently being distributed by the West Bloomfield Police Department. And I want to talk about how this initiative fits into the broader mission of what the Greater West Bloomfield Community Coalition is trying to accomplish.
Well, our mission is to build community partnerships to help our youth grow to their greatest potential. So this is a great example of a community partnership working with the West Bloomfield Police Department, as we always do, but also helping our youth grow to their greatest potential. We're keeping drugs and marijuana and edibles away from our youth so they're safe.
That's absolutely right. And it's good that you just mentioned the police department, because I also want to ask, what's their role? How do they play in supporting this program, and how has your partnership with them truly helped community engagement?
Well, we've partnered with the police department for years. On most of our programs, they're one of our main partners, and we are working with them so it's easy access for people to pick it up in a very comfortable situation, no questions asked. And also, we have given it to the police department so when they go to community events, they can also hand it out. So it's like all of our partnerships, we work really well together on trying to make our community a safer place.
Well, it's great that this partnership is doing so much good for the Greater West Bloomfield community. But I can imagine that not everything is easy with a program like this, as great as it is to have these resources that are free for everyone to just stop by and pick up. There might also be some challenges. So what are some of the biggest challenges in educating families about the risks of unsecured medications and substances?
Just hard to get people to listen. To make the time. Humans don't tend to be proactive, they tend to be reactive. And all of our programming and education is preventative. So we just have to get our parents to listen. And that's always our biggest challenge, is to get people to read what we send out or come to our events and listen to the education and get the tools they need to keep their children safe.
Well, programs like this are certainly helping to get the job done. Lisa, thank you so much for your time today. I got one more quick question before we let you go. Looking ahead, what future initiatives or expansions do you hope to see in the future to help promote household safety in Greater West Bloomfield?
Well, first of all, the police department has a box in their lobby. It's called Operation Medicine Cabinet. West Bloomfield residents can drop off their unused or expired meds in that box 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They don't accept liquids or needles, but all prescription drugs they will take. The other thing is there's one in the fall and in the spring. It's called DEA Take Back Day. And it is an initiative throughout the United States that we promote and let people know that they can go to the police station on that day, especially to drop off their unused and expired meds.
Well, it's great to have that information out there. Lisa, thank you so much for your time and stopping by The Splash today.
Thank you.
Another important resource for people to protect themselves, their families, and those that will be visiting their homes in the coming weeks and months. Keep those medications protected so that only the people that are supposed to be taking them are taking them, and that others that may be exploring your home won't put themselves in potential positions for danger. We're just a week away from one of the most fun nights of the entire year that all goes toward a good cause. February 7th, next week Friday, is Casino Night at Glen Oaks Golf Club in Farmington Hills, all in support of the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation. Now, we're only a week out, but tickets are still on sale at 3 different levels: the Card Shark, or $50 level, the Diamond level for $100, and the $150 High Roller level, which all get you in with various levels of gaming chips, raffle entries, appetizers and other food, and so much more. And even if you can't attend the event, you can still donate to support these different programs and resources provided by the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation in our West Bloomfield classrooms each and every day. More information and purchase of tickets can be found on WBEF.org. That is going to do it for today's edition of the Splash Live. We thank you for tuning in and always encourage you to join us live, local, social, on our social media, all of which can be found on CivicCenterTV.com. Big thank you to our entire team, Kevin McIntosh, Calvin Brown, and Ryan Younglove, as well as Jake Schaff out in the field. Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.